I sense some great victories coming, and I think that while the path is narrow, and I do not deny that for a moment, I think we can pull off one of the great political upsets in the history of the United States. And once we secure that position, I have absolute confidence that we are going to defeat Donald Trump in the general election.
Well, that was Bernie Sanders taking aim at Donald Trump last night after an upset in Indiana, but the socialist still faces an uphill battle for delegates. So what would a contested convention look like for the Democrats? Well, let's ask Democratic Ohio State Senator Capri Cafari and Democratic strategist Karine Jean-Pierre. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
So we have spent so much time, ladies, talking about a GOP contested convention, yet here we are with Bernie Sanders still fighting hard. Capri, what would a contested convention look like for the Democrats? And is that even a possibility?
You know, I think that it's becoming less and less of a possibility, but I think that Bernie Sanders is going to stick it out all the way to the end. Yeah, I think that's what his supporters expect from him. Hillary Clinton is only about 200 votes shy of securing the Democratic Party nomination, but I think that it's going to be a very delicate dance for the Democrats because Hillary Clinton, and I think that she will be the nominee, she needs to engage those Bernie Sanders voters. And some really interesting statistics out of Indiana. 7 of 10 voters in Indiana were white, and they voted for Bernie Sanders. And 56% of white women voted for Bernie Sanders as well, and that's a startling statistic. So these are obviously voters that Hillary Clinton's going to need. She's got to find a way to engage them. A contested convention would really create an acrimony that I don't think is good for the Democrats in November.
That's a great point, Karine. That is what Hillary Clinton is wanting to do, to unite the Democratic Party. Even before the convention, Sanders is making that more difficult. How is she going to do it?
Well, look, Abby, exit poll after exit poll has shown that the Democrats are excited and engaged about this primary. So I think that's something to be noted as well. And they're happy that he stayed in the race. Look, historically, contested conventions has made the nominee much better, much stronger on both sides of the party. So I think Bernie Sanders has an opportunity here, and he should really fight for the progressive platform and the heart of the Democratic Party, which I believe is what he's going to do. His message has been resonating. The Democratic Party is changing, and Hillary Clinton is going to have to take that on as we move forward.
Well, Hillary Clinton, she's already moving on to the next contest next week in West Virginia, where she was confronted by an out-of-work coal miner recently after she said she would put people like him out of business. Take a listen to this.
I don't know how to explain it other than what I said was totally out of context from what I meant, because I have been talking about helping coal country for a very long time.
So you heard her there. She said her comments were taken out of context, but question is, were they? Here's what she said back in March. Listen.
I'm the only candidate which has a policy about how to bring economic opportunity using clean, renewable energy as the key into coal country, because we're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business.
West Virginia is coal country, and that is next week. Capri, I mean, how will this impact what ends up happening in West Virginia next week?
Well, I think that, you know, voters obviously have a long memory. I think that they saw that comment that occurred back in March in Ohio. We are also coal country in Appalachia, Ohio, and Eastern Ohio. And, you know, this is very serious. This is how people make their living. And, again, this goes back to how does she engage the Bernie Sanders voter? I think Bernie Sanders is probably going to win West Virginia because his message about the economy in particular is resonating, and the fact that Hillary Clinton, has created this acrimony with the folks in coal country, I think is really going to weigh heavily on her and potentially cost her wild and wonderful West Virginia.
Karine, I will say it was a pretty real moment that we don't often see from Hillary Clinton when she said it was taken out of context. I didn't mean to say that. I mean, but she was responding to a really personal and emotional comment from someone who had lost his job in coal.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Abby. And it's also, you don't see that from many candidates or elected officials at all. And so I think I commend her for doing that, bringing that emotional to the table, that emotion to the table. And look, she said it herself. These are the voters that she's going to have to work very hard to bring over to her side. And it's going to be an uphill battle. I agree with Capri. I think West Virginia is probably going to be in the Sanders camp. But look, she's not not running. If she is the nominee, she's not running against herself, right? We have Donald Trump, who looks to be the presumptive nominee, and that's going to be an interesting battle because, you know, Donald Trump has fueled his campaign with xenophobic, racist, bigoted, and violent rhetoric, right? That has divided the country and has made us less secure. So I do still want to remember that as well.
Hillary's running against Hillary, and Trump is running against Trump.
Well, Hillary Clinton has a long way to go still. It'll be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. Capri, Corinne, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.